cable to like a USB adapter thing?
Yep.
Okay. That should have like a cable in it that splits off into two. I think it's like orange and gray, or red and white on one end. Like that little USB adapter cable.
Yep. Looking for it here.
Okay. The cable that's connected to that that's like splits off into two and it's like orange and gray or red and white. Put that into the mixer into tape out. So like at the top, right of the mixer, that first line of red and white little ports that are like tiny, like at the back of a DVD player. Okay. Put that there and it should come through better on VMix. And then the cable that you have up top in main out, that green cable is really just if you were gonna play like intro.
Find USB device. Testing 1 2. I got levels now.
Do you got mine? Check.
Yep. Testing 1 2. Test 1 2. Yep.
Yes, 1 2 1 2.
All good.
2 1 2 1. Oh, we should probably see if Les can see us.
Yes.
Text. We should be good. Can you see?
Okay, I don't know what to you.
Yep. What's up?
Did you try switching I believe that cable is supposed to go into the red hole. If you only see a green hole, you could just try switching it, and maybe that's the issue.
Yep. I swapped it, and then I had to just have it find itself in VMix. So we got it set now. We're getting levels.
Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. I'll pull it up over here and text you if something's amiss, or I'll text Shane.
Perfect. Thanks, Suna.
Welcome. Bye.
She gonna text me. Good luck. I ain't getting much signal, which is crazy because it says 4 out of 5.
I know, right?
Yeah, 4 out of 5 bars. So that's just a lie.
Check 1 2. Same thing. I was. Now I'm at 2 bars. But it was struggling to send a picture of the mixer.
Yeah, I'm getting breathing. Can you back the mic up a little bit, or at least like lower it? Yeah, there we go. Did I say something?
Check 1 2. Testing 1 2.
Say it one more time.
Testing 1 2. Check. Sweet. Like
Cool.
with the mics that I had with Mitch, they would always like fall away, and so I almost had to like hold it super close. Felt like I was eating it.
Let's see. Okay, so we actually good time still. I got the key players that we need written down right here.
0-0. We got first quarter.
Second mic up a touch. How about now? Les, can you hear me better now? Please check scoreboard.
I just swapped it. So I zeroed it out and got first quarter in there.
Okay. Scoreboard good. It really sucks if nobody hear the crowd because there's no point in doing the halftime show.
Yeah.
Also, look how dope Eastview's tunnel is for having such a crappy team.
Right. When they where did they go? They traveled somewhere, and they had one that was just like super super small, smaller than what Georgetown has.
Check. Check, check, check. Chicken, chicken. Check, check. I'm hearing like a little static sound in the back. Are you hearing it?
Just a little bit, yeah.
I really hope that goes away. If we get the sound going up, let's go live. What do you think? 5 or 3 minutes to kick?
We could do 3. I think we could do 3 minutes.
Okay.
Also, did you see that from Merle about new rosters?
I did.
I was like comparing because I was looking at like the main ones that I know, like quarterback, wide receivers, running backs,
Well,
defensive
they gave us a
linemen.
copy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but it's so they gave us one, and also I think the only one that I could find is they added 42.
Devin Cook.
And so he's not even on there.
There was a 49 on this one, the Wayne one. This one. It's fine because like this one's the exact same one that he sent us.
Yeah.
So I mean, there ain't much difference.
Oh well.
Who are the kids in orange coming out first? It's like kids or whatever.
I do love these red uniforms.
Is that the Texans flag?
Yeah.
So this is the Packers versus the Texans?
Yes.
They're crossing their own fans first.
They did that at their stadium, too.
Ain't this their stadium? Ain't this
Or not their stadium. Who did that then?
We can adjust on the fly if ready for live, but may want to check connection for the second mic. Check the connection. Okay. Set this up like right there.
Great color match.
And all white.
Yeah, the numbers are gonna suck for that one.
I remember like years ago, Georgetown played over at that place over by the rec center, the field over there.
Okay.
That was the Georgetown field because ECU didn't exist, and they wore like sort of like a lighter blue across hard. That sign says "Our town, our field, our game."
Round Rock Westwood had like these light gray and orange lettering or orange numbering with like a dark.
Alright. Live in 2 minutes. Are we doing ads? For this?
I have no idea how to do ads. I was never told how to do it.
Chubby checker. Alright, 60 seconds. I guess we can open up with an ad or something.
What's up?
No, I'm saying I guess we can just open up with an ad.
Yeah.
So she showed you how to do it.
Yeah, she's just these 3.
Cool. Go ahead.
42.
Oh, for real? That knows the time.
Vype Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professional, each Vypeful, and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com. Find out more about Vype today.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Birkelbach Field here in Georgetown, Texas. Just outside of Austin. It is a beautiful night for football, as you can see by the flags. Just a little breeze going on. It's making it a wonderful viewing experience here for the two Georgetown teams, Georgetown High School and Eastview High School. Tyler also on the call with you here. Shane, what do we got tonight?
Looks like tonight we have rivalry night. That is the Eastview Patriots of Georgetown, Texas, taking on the Georgetown Eagles. The red and blue matchup. Georgetown coming in the heavy favorite, following a 70-16 win over Leander, and Eastview coming off their closest loss of the season, a 31-21 heartbreaker to Glenn.
And before that game, Georgetown High School also scoring 70 against Hendrickson. That was after a 2-game loss, so coming out, offense has been firing. We'll take another look at both teams here after the national anthem. We got 2 minutes left to go before got a little bit of a slower start to this rivalry matchup. A lot of festivities. We got some trash talking done in the signage game. What was it? Our field, our home.
Our field, our home, our game. The sign made it clear that Georgetown ain't taking any prisoners. This game means more really to Eastview, but Georgetown is coming in to state their dominance. They hadn't lost to Eastview in years, and considering how young this program still is, Georgetown's been around for a long time, and they typically keep the better players of this area. So Eastview likely not making the playoffs this year. This is a pride game for them.
And Georgetown also in that mix too, and when it comes to division rankings or district rankings, sitting at 4th right now with that 1 loss, and now behind the A&M Consolidated and College Station as well up there. So sitting behind, trying to keep pace with the undefeated teams. Eastview, of course, still looking for their first win, 0-3 in district play.
A&M Consolidated is definitely the heavy favorite in this district, but Georgetown, after 2 heavy wins, and it looks like they've been wearing blue.
And the Eagles have lost 2 games, but those games have been close. Those games have been against great opponents. Lost to A&M Consolidated by 14. Also lost at Liberty Hill. Those teams are combined 11-2. So losing to 14 points to both those teams, really nothing to shake your head about. Those are some great programs. You got a great program yourself. 1,300 yards you put up the last two games combined. 70 points the last 2 games in each of those. So really high-powered offense. And just looking at some of the season stats, Eastview giving up 48 points a game. Georgetown comes into this averaging 48 points a game. So it's going to be a really tough sled for Eastview if they can't get some stops on defense.
And it all starts with Georgetown's star running back number 22, Alex Peter. Averages 160 rushing yards a game, has 18 total touchdowns on the season. He's being looked at early as a junior, being looked at places like Baylor, like Oklahoma State. And considering he still has another year under his belt, he's just getting started. And if Eastview wants a chance to keep up with him, it's going to come by way of their star receiver, T.J. Duncan. He averages 125 receiving yards a game because the running game hadn't been going well for Eastview.
Lost their big play threat almost entirely. It was a lot of short intermediate passes, swing passes, some crossing routes, some slants, but you had nothing downfield, and that just really took a bite out of the offensive firepower for the Patriots. Patrick Maxwell going to come out and kick off after the coin toss. The aforementioned Oh, and a little onside kick here. We got a flag on the near side. I don't think it's going to make 10 yards.
I think Georgetown got it. Yep.
Might be an offsides. We saw that play. I want to say that was in the 2nd or 3rd game. Maxwell successfully pulled that one off. Didn't get too much mustard on it. And judging by the flag and which referee threw it, I'm assuming this is offsides.
Looks like someone got a little too antsy on that kickoff. And that can happen, especially if you're trying to open the game up with the kick. And you're trying to take an early advantage. Georgetown's expecting to kick it deep. But
So it looks like Noah Burris going to send Petter out. He's going to fling it out on the little bubble screen area. He's got some blockers. And out after about a 13-yard gain.
They motioned their running back Petter out to the outside, and because he's such a star player, they keyed in on him, but it left the receiver open on the little slip screen, and they had 3 men ahead of him to get the nice big gain there. And anytime you start the game with a screen, it can be dangerous if they see the short play coming. That time they executed it perfectly.
A little bit of tempo here from the Eagles. Another man in motion. This is Bruce. And up the middle to Petter. Gains about 7 yards, and he is a load back there. Like you mentioned, getting looked at by some big-time plays, big-time colleges.
Yeah, the pre-snap motion there was really just to draw the defense off, but really the defense did a good job of actually keying in on Petter, not.
Snap. Pitch outside. Petter didn't even move. A little confusion. That's Marquise Dominguez up there on the route.
Marquise Dominguez did a good job of doing a stop route. He ran a simple 5-yard and stop, and the cornerback was already too far off him, and he looked to his way immediately. A level up.
Bouris sends a man in motion. That is Petter. Jet sweep to Petter. Tries the outside. A couple Patriots there, but he still drags a couple out of bounds with him. That's about a 10-yard gain for Petter.
Petter did a good job really just powering his way out there because really ECU had the corner. They had a chance to knock him out of bounds, but Petter really used his strength to get the last couple 3 yards there. What should have been a 6, maybe 7-yard gain turned into 10 because of the will at the point of attack. And now it's 3rd and 5, and this one is going to count more for ECU than anybody else because at this point Georgetown is probably going to get some points in this drive.
Petter goes in motion. Little movement up front. This might be a free play. Backs to Petter. Takes the pass. Doesn't get into the end zone, but this is going to be... It's a first down where Petter is spotted just inside the 5.
You got to give a little credit there. That was number 81, not 81, number 85, Amar Bucic, who read that play from the beginning. He was able to get to him in time because if he didn't make that tackle at the 3, that's a touchdown. But it doesn't matter because ultimately, like they're going to take the 8-yard play rather than the 5-yard play.
And this dangerous offense is now in 1st and goal from the 3. If you're Eastview, that was a golden opportunity on 3rd down.
They're playing a heavy box. Look, they have 8 to 9 men in the box depending on what the safety's doing. It looks like the safety's going to be playing spy on the tight end, and that just means that they're respecting the run the entire time.
Dickman in motion. The pitch to Petter. Untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Eagles.
That was a good job, really, by the offensive line. Led there. That was if you looked at that play, the big guy, number 65, Broden Elliott, with the good pull block, brought 2 men down, one on the edge and another man to the outside. The cornerback, it's hard to tell who was on the ground, but he pancaked 2 different players on that drive, opened up a gaping hole like the Red Sea. And then just like that, the Georgetown's on top under 2 minutes into the game.
Aaron Guzman in with the kick. Kick is up. Kick is good. Got a 7-0 ball game here in Georgetown. We'll take a quick break and come back for Eastview trying to answer.
Interested in Vype Campus? Vype Campus brings our popular citywide media days right to your doorstep. As a Vype Campus client, we will work with you to help you take advantage of our unique campus model to build a unique experience for your school. From media day photo shoots of all your athletes to game day coverage, broadcasts and live streams, video and digital content, hype videos, the Vype U program, same-day graphics, and of course your very own campus magazine, Vype Campus is truly whatever you want it to be. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out how to join Vype Campus today.
Back after the touchdown, Georgetown not looking too deterred by this Eastview defense. And if you're Eastview, you got to come up with opportunities and take advantage of them. You had that 3rd down inside the eventual score by Petter. Guzman kicks this one deep. Rainey's going to watch this one go out of bounds. That'll set up nice field position. We've seen Rainey be a dangerous returner. I'm surprised they kicked it towards his way. Actually had one run back, but it was called back after a penalty last week.
And those kind of penalties, those can be a dagger for you. Special teams and penalties, I've seen too many times in life where like you might have the better team, but that can always hamper you. If you give up yardage, you give up free yardage like that on special teams, it can turn the game around quicker than you expected.
And if memory serves right, I believe they were down 10 points at that time, so it would have cut it to 3. They just held up to a field goal last week, and just a blow that kind of took the winds out of the sails of the Patriots. But back on offense, been kind of an inconsistent offense. Again, last week Blair, one of his best performances on the season, statistically rivals the game against Lampasas in week 3. 25 of 37 for 275 and 2 touchdowns. Did have an interception, but a lot more trust from this. Get an extra 15 yards, I believe, on that. Little extra curriculars throwing him out of bounds.
Yeah, that was Colin Casey, the cornerback, who did a nice little rock bottom on the outside, even though Martin already had the first down. Good job right there by Duncan. A quick little slant route. Just at that point, there was a huge hole in the defense because that time they brought 6. They left the middle of the field wide open, and when you do that, you have to take advantage of that. They did, and right away they are moving the ball.
Georgetown's offense is looking a little shaky here. Trying to bring some pressure. They do bring pressure on the outside. Fires quick outside off the hands of the receiver. That's Duncan again. A little bit outside, but under pressure. Pressure being brought from outside. I believe that was Leandro Diaz.
Yeah. Blair was a little quick on that one. He threw it a little bit too far to the inside. He's lucky that that's all it was because he actually had a better option right there. It looks like Martin was open quickly on an inside route, but I guess he went with the design route instead.
Jacob Faltasek on the pressure that time. Now more pressure. Fires it out about 4 yards on that play. Good recognition from Blair, though, the sophomore quarterback. Really sensing the pressure coming from the outside, not panicking, not rushing his throws. Saw him a couple weeks ago kind of try and make those a little bit more scramble-worthy plays, and instead just hanging in tough, not panicking.
And Keystone Rainey did a good job of not going down. It took 3 guys to get him down on that route to set up what would have been a third down and a little bit long to a third down much more manageable. Those extra 2 yards could have made the difference.
3rd and 5 here. Fake up the middle, and now a swing route.
Good play. Oh,
that's a great play.
Oh, I think they say it was a catch. The Georgetown say it was incomplete, but the ref's going to give it to him.
Alessandro Perez on the catch. Haven't seen too much from him this season, but comes in to make a nice completion. They're going to say he's just shy. Boy, I don't know how much closer you can get if you're the down marker. And I think they're going to come out and measure this one.
That was a really good job right there with the little slip route that they did with Eastview. He got just enough. Really, if he didn't fumble the ball, I think he might have enough to get the first down. But he fumbled it right before, I think, right before he got to the marker. This is going to be really, really close. It all depends on where they say he fumbled the ball. Because anywhere the ball lands is that's where the ref determines he released the ball before it went out of bounds.
And the ref's still trying to set the ball before coming out and measuring.
I think just based on my view, it looks like this might be about a half foot short. Just based on where the marker is and where they like a half yard shy. And they're not even going to measure. That was just an official timeout.
Yep, official timeout. They did move it back, so it is a 4th and 1 here. Offense looks to be staying out on the field, and if you're Coach Wall, I can't blame you here. You got a great opportunity. Your offense has been humming so far. Keep them out there.
If you look at Georgetown, they got 4 down linemen. They're expecting something up the middle and quick.
Seen Blair make an impact. Pressure coming from on the inside. Now Duncan in motion. Blair going to take this, and that's exactly what it is. Up the middle, Blair scrambling, and he's taken down at the original line of scrimmage. Turnover on downs. Georgetown's going to take over at the 31.
Yeah, that was a dumb play call from the beginning because you only needed 1 yard and you kept your quarterback in shotgun. If you're going to do a quarterback run, it probably should have been under center, or if they're going to keep him back there, you got to throw it. Especially when you got guys bringing the blitz. That time they ran 4 down linemen and blitz 3 more. So at that point you were outnumbered with the receivers on the outside. That was a blown play from the beginning.
And I think that's what you lose when you run the spread offenses that we see nowadays, especially at the college game. You lose that quarterback sneak. A lot of Big Ten schools like the Iowas, the Wisconsins are still holding on to that tried and true. You see some I formation out of them too, but the quarterbacks who can take a snap under center, a lot of quarterbacks nowadays not so used to that. Center's not used to the handoff. And now Georgetown's going to take over. Good field position, going deep on the first play. Got a man. He finds him at the 20, the 10, and he will score. First play and touchdown.
Number 8.
Drayden Dickman actually on the reception. So 13-0. Boy, that's what you can have if you're the Patriots.
No, right away you said it. Like that time they kept playing press man. They were expecting the run. They're expecting number 22 to do that, and it's telling me that you either don't respect the pass, you don't expect the pass. The fact that there was no safety up top, they didn't expect that pass at all, and they took advantage of it with an easy post route deep shot. 14-0.
This one's getting out of hand early. Just under 8 minutes to go in this first quarter. We'll take a quick break. Come back to Georgetown after this.
Hey, high schoolers, are you interested in a career in sports media? Vype can help. Launched in 2017, our Vype U Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on experience in the sports media field. Vype U also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professionals. From covering games to publishing photos, writing articles, and conducting on-camera interviews, each Vype U ambassador receives an immersive experience geared toward their interests, while promoting their own school and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out more about Vype U today.
Back here in Georgetown.
Ball really takes off.
This one going to be kicked right down the middle. He's got some room.
Got a lane. Good return right there.
Out to midfield. I believe that was Duncan.
Yeah, that was number 3 actually. That was Elder Isakpuanu, and I apologize if I got that name wrong.
Isapunwu.
Isapunwu. He did a real good job of finding the lane. It was like that last second burst. He's really got to get there. That's the second time that ECU's going to start with great field position. But like last time, they have to be able to get the ball down the field. You don't want to lose momentum. You don't want to lose yourself in the game too early because you just mentioned it. The game got out of hand, and we ain't even halfway through the first quarter just yet. They need to be able to get some points on this drive, even if it's just a field goal.
And didn't quite catch what the penalty was, but bump him up 5 yards. So you're starting on in opposing territory. You got to score. We've seen in recent weeks that the Patriot offense isn't really designed to make big comebacks. Already down 14, can't make it any worse than it already is.
Come out 4 wide too.
Showing pressure up again, Georgetown, and some movement up front.
It looks like that was the right guard. It's hard to tell who it was from this angle, but it looks like it's either the right guard or the center. One of them flinched, and Georgetown knew it right away.
1st and 10 now, 1st and 15. Like to see a little bit more in the running game from Eastview. Had a lot of struggles last week. 21 carries for 50 yards, just under 2.5 average. And this is a really good running back crew. You have Edmondson and also Kareem Edwards. Just kind of a 1-2 back. Edmondson going to fire out in the flat underneath to Duncan. Lost it at the end. They're going to say he's down.
Yeah, that was read immediately. That was number 13. That's Landry Leggett, who did a real good job of reading the play right away. And Georgetown's running like they think it's going to the end zone, but that play was just blown up immediately. That was a no-go from the start.
A little confusion there from the refs, it looked like. He had 3 referees trying to figure out if the whistle was blown, and I believe we can't really hear the whistle too well up here behind the glass, but whistle was blown, so 2nd and call it about 16.
That ain't how you want to start, especially after a solid return right there.
Again, taking advantage of opportunities, big key here. Blair under pressure from the backside, spins out of it, can't get from the second one. He's evasive, but can't get away from the second eagle.
He stopped way too soon and was consumed right there. That was number 5 for Georgetown. That was the defensive tackle, Daniel Obina, who leads the team now with 5.5 sacks on the season. And at that point, you saw that big boy just chase him down. And really, Blair's got lost like a deer in headlights, sawing 3 different guys. He's got to get rid of the ball, or he's got to run out of bounds or something. He can't take those sacks.
So you start the drive at the 45, the opposing 45, and now you're backed up to...
About 35, right? You're on 35.
Yeah. It's not where you want to be. 3rd and can't even get the...
A light year.
3rd and a light year, yeah. Can't even get the first down marker in the camera frame, really.
You'd have to get from your 35 to the other 35 in order to get a first down.
Blair takes a snap, firing deep. Flag thrown, but down the seam. Good catch there in traffic. Edmondson. It was a dangerous throw, but Edmondson went up and grabbed it. I think they might get this one for holding, though, judging on where the flag was thrown near the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, everybody's coming back. It looks like this play, which was beautiful.
I'd like to see more shots taken by this offense. They have the weapons in Duncan. Rainey has shown himself to be a tremendous secure of the ball. He's got the height, too. So I'd like to see them take a little bit more of a deep shot out there. Also, Ramirez last week, as we saw a lot of quick out routes, a lot of quick curl routes. He was able to beat his man one-on-one and get separation. That was a very reliable play.
You see, Georgetown is actually giving them chances. They're playing a low look. They're playing a zero blitz. They're playing a lot of times 6, 7 men in the box, sort of like a split-off man look on the outside of the defense. They don't play a lot of deep safety, at least not in this game, just because they don't respect running game or the lack thereof. They know the passing game's coming, but they'd rather blitz Blair than play deep coverage.
Blair with 3rd and 39 on the screen. Now fires back. There's Martin picking up off the ground. It's going to be incomplete pass because it was a forward pass, still behind the line of scrimmage, but ball was going forward, and Blair, again, has just been under pressure all night trying to set up the screen.
Yeah, that time that was the ball at the last second, but that entire drive, which had such promise at the start, just went nothing but backwards, and you can't give those up. And right away, it's getting ugly. We're just now halfway through the first quarter.
So 4th and 39. I don't think they're going to go for it this time. Maxwell's going to have to put his leg into this one to get maybe even to the first down marker. Takes the kick, little rugby style, low line drive. Going to get a favorable bounce, does pass the first down marker and gets down to about the 24-yard line. Actually rolls down to the 23. Good little kick there from Maxwell.
Rate that Georgetown's scoring these points. 2 drives, neither one has taken 2 minutes off the board for themselves.
Of course, that last one just taking 1 play, not 2 minutes, but not even 2 plays.
Well, that means the stat I said made sense.
It's a great offensive team to come out and see. A lot of execution, a lot of things very executed well by this Eagle offense. Now Brewer's going to hand up the middle to Petter, going to bounce it outside. Swarmed by Patriots, does still pick up about 8 yards, drags the last couple yards, and that's what it's all about, those effort plays, getting those extra yards.
Yeah, that was Jacob Vasquez who finally brought him down. He's sort of a shoestring tackle, but Petter did a real good job of really just finding lanes and using power. You don't really see a whole lot of power backs who are that elusive, but even a guy who's 5'10", 200 pounds, he's only 16, that's really good field vision for such a young ball carrier.
That's just unfair.
Oh yeah, yeah. You see running backs who are 5'10", 200 pounds with that sort of power and versatility, like later on in other leagues.
Burris firing this one out. I think they're going to call him out. Yep, did get a foot out, about a 5-yard gain on that one.
Yeah, credit Weston Bruce. He's been coached right because until you hear the whistle, you keep running the ball, but they blew the whistle a little bit late there. But even still, that was a quick out route. Got about 4 yards on that one. But if they didn't blow the whistle, the safeties stopped, and so he had some green. If anything, the defense needed to let him play to the whistle because they stopped him. They thought he was out as well after the catch.
Referees just need some help from this Eastview sideline. Credit to Coach Wall and staff for noticing that. Burris going to fake this one. Fires down the slant. Gosh, and we've seen that from not just the running back, we've seen that from wide receivers, just those extra effort plays. Marquise Dominguez dragging a defender a couple extra yards.
That wasn't exactly a slant route. That was more of a drag route just because he ran straight for about 5 yards and then crossed over the middle. But if you saw right there, the safety's backed up expecting a deep pass because they're running 4 wides. They're running a lot of 4 wides. They're expecting the deep pass like they got on the second drive. But they left the middle of the field wide open.
And I think if you're Eastview, you do want to limit those plays. We'll see what they... And we got some movement before snap here. But I think if you're Eastview, you do want to limit those big plays. Keep the offense out there, churn clock, if anything, to maybe have some more opportunities for turnovers. Keep them out there to force a 3-and-out or something. You just have to give your offense a chance, really.
What you're seeing from the Eastview offense is they can push the ball down the field on this Georgetown defense, a much better Georgetown defense. It's the reality is like you said, they have to use those opportunities. They can't waste them.
Brewers hands this one up to Petter, breaks an ankle tackle, bounces it outside past the 45. Boy, makes about 5 guys miss, and he's tackled by about 5 of them too. Just swarmed down there. First down.
Yeah, Alessandro Perez with a touchdown saving tackle right there. But once again, Petter showing power and vision on that run. Again, he didn't have breakaway speed, but at this level, it's more than enough to get to the end zone.
It's a dangerous back who doesn't need to follow his blockers to pick up a first down every time he touches the ball. Handoff to Petter again. Picks his hole this time and goes for about 5 yards. No one in the hole at that time.
Alessandro Perez, once again, it feels like Perez has been there almost every single time that Petter's been down. I have to give him a lot of credit. He's doing a good job of reading the running back, almost like he's playing spy on him, sort of. And he's done a good job of being around Petter wherever the ball's being carried. But really, the defensive line has just been beaten up so far. And it's only the first quarter. It ain't even over yet.
So the Eagles being very two-dimensional here, beating you through the air with the deep ball, also feeding Petter. Petter yet to score one on the ground. Now rolling out, Burris going to fire short here. Ball taken around the 25. Just bully ball up the middle, breaks a tackle towards the end zone. I don't think he got there. They're going to call him out at about the 1-yard line.
That was a good job right there. That's Jacob Weichmeyer who was really really patient with his quarterback, stayed there, allowed the play to break down, and then he did a nice little last-second reach, but it looks like he might have been out of bounds right before he went back over the pylon. I thought he was in from this angle, but the ref down there is right on that line, so they're always going to give the benefit of the doubt to them.
No instant replay yet. We haven't gotten the technology down at this level yet, but
it's crazy because there's a big team.
We got the cameras for it, just don't have the slow motion capabilities. It looks like Burris going to take this one.
Untouched to the end.
Untouched till you cross the goal line. That's 20-0, folks.
You got to give Eastview a lot of credit for this. Is that like they're watching film? They know whenever they bring a motion guy, they know they ain't gonna do nothing with that. That's really just to draw the defense off. They're expecting the run. The problem is that they're getting beat by the run anyway.
It's demoralizing when you know what's coming and yet you still can't beat it. Guzman gonna get the point after here. Snap is down, kick is up. Kick is through. 21-0 here in Georgetown. 3:07 to go. Still in the first quarter. Eagles out in front. We'll be back after the break.
What is Vype Live? Vype Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well, and now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live, we bring your teams to you.
21-0. The visitors, if you want to call them that, as they share the field here, Eagles up 21-0. They are living up to that to their banner. It is their game so far. It is their field so far. I can't remember the last one. I keep forgetting the last one. Our field, our home. It's their home.
Their town.
It's their town too. Deep again. This one going to Rainey near that sideline, up the middle to the 23-yard line.
You always like to see whenever a returner's patient like that because it means they had the ability and the instincts in order to find a bigger run. That time, he took what probably would have been tackled at the 9 into about the 23, 22-yard line. And even though it ain't much, those extra yards in special teams matter down the line.
And you've seen the development. If you've watched, Rainey's been the primary kick returner, and last week he had about 3 returns in a row where he would take it out on that far sideline, try and change field, come to this near side, and just waste a whole lot of time. He would let the blockers or the return team catch up to him, and then finally broke one. Only thing it was called back. So maybe someday, Rainey. Over the middle. Boy, big contact, ball incomplete, just a bit too high out of the outstretched arms of Rainey.
Yeah, that time he was looking for Rainey on what was a sort of a trips stack set. They had 4 receivers to the left, 3 were set in a triangle formation, and so if you saw Georgetown, they weren't wavering. They kept themselves in a base cover 2, and they allowed the play to go to the middle. If you notice Eastview, a lot of their best plays have been towards the middle of the field, and that's where Georgetown's letting them throw because they expect to make the play on the ball.
Duncan in motion, fires to Rainey again. This one bobbled, and yep, that did hit the ground. I saw Rainey reaching down to the ground. Can't keep it under control, perhaps waiting for that hit after taking one last time.
Yeah, Blair was a little fidgety when he got that ball out of his hand. He didn't really get it straight up in there. It was a little too far to the ground, even though he was feeling the pressure. That right there, if you saw, he had blockers in front of him. He probably could have made it like at least a 10-yard gain out of that, but instead it's third and well, it's only 3rd and 10 for them, but it's 3rd and long for this offense so far.
And Blair, we've seen his progression kind of take steps here and there. Tremendous in scrambling, getting away from the pressure when there's only a couple guys, and he's making moves on the outside. And now they're going to blow this one dead, actually. Got some movement up front, it looks like. 3rd and 15.
You don't see a ton of 5-wide sets in high school ball. But yeah, no, like if you saw it, that was I couldn't tell who was lined up in the inside slot, but on the right side. But it looks like that's who moved. Like they moved their foot, like kind of like a little ballerina tap, and that was enough really to bring them back on the play.
Now it's just a matter of field possession. You got to get some extra yards to give Maxwell some breathing room. You don't want to have him with the heels on the goal line during punt situations. Showing pressure up again, up the middle. Got a couple guys coming up free off the hands of Duncan. Incomplete pass, 3rd and 15. Now you're inside your own 20, punting yet again.
That was a business decision because if he catches that ball, he's about to get spearheaded by number 6. That's Drayden Dickman, who's right there ready to either pick off the ball or take off his head because I think he's actually lucky for his health that he dropped the ball, even though it's going to set up Georgetown with excellent field position.
We'll see if Maxwell goes a little low line drive here again. Had a nice roll that last time.
He's doing everything he can to not kick it to Petter because he knows. Oh, excuse me, Petter's not even returning the punt this time.
Little rugby style again. This one gets a little bit more air under it. Fair catch made at the 48-yard line.
Yeah, that time it was Drayden Dickman who was getting the punt. Last time it was Petter, but obviously that rugby punt went back to the 22-yard line. But even the fair catch sets him up in midfield.
What do you expect to see from Georgetown coming up now? Everything you've done on offense has worked. What are you expecting from them this time?
More of the same. I hate to be like that kind of bland about it, but Georgetown is running the game right now. It's their rules. There's still 2.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and it doesn't matter if they throw it or run it. They've been able to move the ball at will. Look, there's Petter moving on motion, and he's probably going to do a quarterback sneak, and it won't matter because the safety's already backed off. There's no one in the middle of the field.
Got to fire out to Petter. Had some time for that play to develop. Still gets about 3 yards. I don't think they've had a negative play on offense so far.
You know, I don't think they have either, just because like really, ECU is playing really conservative defense. They're playing off the receivers a little bit. They're crashing the middle more to avoid getting beat by the run because they know how dangerous Petter is as a runner. But Georgetown, if you notice, they've run a lot of jet sweeps and a lot of outside zone runs because the outsides have been wide open for them.
Petter in the backfield. Bruce in motion. Looks at Bruce and instead fires at Dickman, and Dickman is inside the 10. Can't get to the end zone though. Touchdown saving tackle.
Yeah, it's number 5. That's Braden Gates who with the touchdown saving tackle right there. But I mean, once again, this offense is just doing whatever it wants.
And how about the little pump fake? Saw the shoulders move from Burris. Able to pause the defense for a second and find Dickman.
Well, that was, I mean, it faked everybody out, even me as well, and then there's obviously Petter for the touchdown. But if you look at the Georgetown offense, they see that Eastview is very much playing to, we don't want you to beat us on the ground. They don't want you to run the ball up the middle. And that's why they're playing a lot more box. They're playing their cornerbacks off a little bit because they know, even though Georgetown can throw the ball, they'd rather beat them throwing the ball than running the ball.
And they're beating them every which way. It's 27-0 right now. Guzman, how many plays was that? Was that 3 plays on that drive?
I believe it was actually 4 because the long play to Dickman was what set him up at the 1.
Kick is up, kick is good.
Technically 5 if you don't count the penalty.
A lot of the same here in Georgetown, 28-0. Still in the first quarter, minute 25. We'll come back to Georgetown after the break.
Hey, high schoolers, are you interested in a career in sports media? Vype can help. Launched in 2017, our Vype U Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on experience in the sports media field. Vype U also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professionals. From covering games to publishing photos, writing articles, and conducting on-camera interviews, each Vype U ambassador receives an immersive experience geared toward their interests, while promoting their own school and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out more about Vype U today.
Back here in Georgetown, we've got a blowout here, 28-0 in favor of the Georgetown Eagles. Eastview Patriots trying to get something going on offense have been stifled after a promising first drive saw them move into opponent territory before turning it over on a 4th and short. Kick is deep to Rainey. Rainey gonna change field, finds a hole up the middle, past the 30-yard line. Another great return. I don't even know if he was down at that point.
I don't know if he was down either. It looked like he was like skating on the player, but they already blew the play dead, so it didn't matter. But yeah, I thought he was about to get up and keep going.
Takes over at the 35-yard line, does Blair. I'd like to see a little bit more kind of balance, maybe keep this front 7 of Georgetown honest.
only thing that's really worked for ECU at this point has been those quick slants, those quick outs. And if that's really like the only game they have right now that's been working, that's all they can really do on this Georgetown defense, which has allowed them to do that from time to time.
This Georgetown defense giving up about 30 points per game. So not necessarily a shutdown defense, but Eastview as a...
It looks like that was number 9 in coverage, Gabriel DeNova, who was about 10 yards off him at that time. If he doesn't fall down, he could probably get the first down.
Especially with Duncan's speed. Now the fake up the middle, out Duncan again. This time read perfectly by the defender. In at the 20, at the 10. Blair trying to catch him, does not. That's a pick 6. I believe that's Drayden Dickman.
No, that's actually number 8. That's Jacob Faltzek, who leads the team in tackles, averaging 10 a game. That's his second interception of the year. That's also the team leading interception. And just like that, you know how they scored 70, like you said, in back-to-back games. They're halfway through that in the first quarter.
Still got 50 seconds to go in the first quarter too, so we could have another score added on.
It almost feels like it's a rivalry game and only in name alone, just because they share territory.
And usually, it doesn't matter. You see it at every level. You see the Duke North Carolinas, the Eagles Cowboys game coming up. You throw records out the window, and maybe expect a little bit closer of competition. Not here though. 35-0 is our score. 50 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well, and now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live, we bring your teams to you.
Back here in Georgetown, Tyler Alseth, Shane Carter with you tonight on this Friday. Very, very beautiful night. Not on the scoreboard though. 35-0 is our score.
If you're wearing blue, it's beautiful. If you're wearing red, it's dead.
Not very great turnout though in the fans section though from both schools. This is I wouldn't say the biggest crowd, definitely biggest crowd on the visitor side that I've seen here this year. But Eastview has a decent turnout too. Trying to pull the upset, but those hopes quickly put to rest by the Eagles team.
It feels like the longer this game goes along, the more and more the spirits are breaking of Eastview, and it's 35-0. There's still a minute left in the first quarter.
This one going to go out of the end zone. So Blair trying to shake off that pick 6.
I'm gonna tell you right away that this game really shifted for the worse for Eastview on that 4th down and 1 when they are at their own 22-yard line. They ran a shotgun play 7 yards away from the line to gain, and they brought a man in motion. But at that point, you saw they went from a 4-man blitz to a 7-man blitz. But they had four wide receiver out, and they were playing man coverage, meaning that there were more people coming at you than you had ability to block. So really, I don't know why they didn't run a quarterback sneak or just ran a quick pass, because it was working up to that point. And instead, they ran a quarterback sweep, and all that did was lose yards. And at that point, it's been going downhill from there.
And all it takes here is a little double reverse here to Duncan. That fools no one. Loss of 6.
Yep. Look who it was. That's number 8. That was Jacob Faltzek on his looks like his 3rd tackle of the game. Back-to-back plays for him. He's really the star of this defense. He's having a good game so far.
Going back to that 4th down, it's plays like that. You can maybe count on one hand the amount of plays that can lose you a game. I think you can chalk that up to here.
Because like right after that 4th down stop, what happened? All the way down the field, 70 yards to Drayden Dickman, and from there it wasn't even close.
Blair fires past Luke Martin. That was a good block up front from the offensive line. 1st down, good completion there from Blair.
Yeah, there's about 10 seconds left to go in this first quarter, so you wonder really if I don't want to say they're playing for pride at this point, but you definitely don't want to go out with a 0 on there.
So the clock will run out. That'll take us to the quarter break. Score 35-0 in favor of the Eagles. We'll take a break along with the teams as they switch fields, and we'll be back to Georgetown after this.
What is Vype Live? Vype Live is one of the largest and most respected broadcast and live stream networks in the state of Texas. Vype Live broadcasts any sport you can think of for youngsters of any age, from Pee Wee and Pop Warner to high school, club, college, semi-pro, and beyond. We also broadcast plenty of academic, fine arts, and community-related events as well. And now as partners with Flow Sports. Email us at info@vypemedia.com to find out more. Vype Live. We bring your teams to you. Interested in Vype Campus? Vype Campus brings our popular citywide media days right to your doorstep. As a Vype Campus client, we will work with you to help you take advantage of our unique campus model to build a unique experience for your school. From media day photo shoots of all your athletes to game day coverage, broadcasts and live streams, video and digital content, hype videos, the Vype U program, same-day graphics, and of course your very own campus magazine, Vype Campus is truly whatever you want it to be. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out how to join Vype Campus today.
Back here, first down for Blair. Takes this one up the middle. That's what he can do with his legs. Gets a first down, a little bit more. 12-yard gain there.
Yeah, that was a nice little quick snap. It took us off guard too, just because like they set up immediately and they're going with the hurry up. They are hell bent on coming back in this game, even though they're down 5 touchdowns.
Coach Wall must have said something during the quarter break. Try to energize his Patriot offense. Get back to that first drive. A lot of what we saw there was very, very positive, very looked well executed. And now Blair trying to.
He's calling an audible, looks
Yep.
like. And they got trips up top, and they have a single high safety. I wouldn't be surprised if they do an underneath route. Oh, no, they're taking
Going
a
deep,
shot.
one-on-one to Rainey. That ball's out of bounds by about 4 yards, but Rainey definitely has a height matchup there.
Yeah, I think at that point he was just hoping that Rainey would make a play. That feels like one of his preferred targets, but he wasn't open at all. He threw it way too far to the sideline. There was no one open because he felt the blitz almost immediately. And Blair, being a little fidgety with the ball, getting rid of it way too soon.
Osiris Presley in coverage against Rainey.
Osiris was precisely where he needed to be.
Up the middle this time. This is Edwards. Wrangled back.
A run and play.
About 5 yards.
And we go back to that 4th down play again. We talked about it before the break. Like, really, all you needed was a half yard. I don't know why they couldn't run that play.
Kareem Edwards getting a little bit there as Blair comes aside to get the play called. 3rd down and manageable here. So play calling not exclusively pass, but from what we've seen, it most likely will be. And I wonder if that was the game plan to coming in, is instead of being a two-dimensional kind of going into the air raid offense, but we've seen that a lot tonight. 10.5 minutes to go here, down 5 scores, and really you have to be an air raid offense now if you want any shot coming back. They pass here, a little bit behind the defender. He takes a shot.
I was going to say he caught it.
It's going to say first down, and Keyston Rainey.
Rainey, once again, he took a shot on that catch, but I mean, if you look at ECU, they're moving up, but Rainey looks like he got a little slow. He's gingerly getting back to the line of scrimmage, line up in that little slot route.
Little whiplash there. Got to set your feet. And
He
Blair
ran
under
the ball.
pressure.
The pressure had gone backwards. That time he went lateral and got rid of the ball.
And stepping up to up in the pocket. He's got great footwork, but again, it's just that decision making. Do you want to go backwards or do you want to go forwards? Obviously, the coach wants to go forwards. Sometimes you got to go east and west to go forwards. Blair just getting a good look out there, but couldn't complete it to Rainey. Haven't seen Edmondson run the ball that much. I don't think at all this game.
No, they've been hell-bent on throwing the ball here, and Georgetown's playing a deep zone, too.
And it's going to be a free play. We saw some movement up front. That one complete to Ramirez, just past the 35 at the 34-yard line. I think this is going to be a free play, though, a free 5 yards.
Ramirez ran a nice little comeback route to get close to the first down, but like you said, this penalty might deter it a little bit.
I think that was Brandon Hawkins Stovall showing pressure on the outside right at the last second, unable to do so.
And there's always those, and the guys in the front seven. It's always a game of seconds, like how quick or how soon and how late you can get to the quarterback before you bring him down. But he did just enough to make him get rid of the ball probably sooner than he wanted to, but it's still a good play by Blair.
2nd and 5, threads the needle, picks up the first down. That's a good-looking ball.
Just a quick little slant route. They've been running those a lot tonight, and they've had effective plays running the quick slant. And Georgetown, but they've allowed them too often in this game to run the inside slant.
And those receivers are just winning their matchups here. And Eastview is going to take yards however they can get them at this point. 1st and 10, and we're going to get a timeout from the Eagles.
Vype also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's an immersive experience geared toward day.
Georgetown, 3 for Eastview. 1st and 10 upcoming, just outside the red zone. And bringing pressure again. Blair's going to roll out, fire deep, hung in there, took a shot though.
Threw it because he had a man open. He had his guy. It looks like it was going for Rainey, but if you look at it, actually Martin was one that was much more open on that, and they ran a heavy trips to the right, so you knew the play was going to the right. But really, that was a good job, a good pursuit right there by Duncan to get to Blair right before he threw that ball.
Credit to Blair for sticking in there. Trying to make something, just couldn't get too much on it. Brings up 2nd and 10. Yeah.
He took a heavy shot.
In motion is Ramirez up the middle to Edmondson. He's got some room. Powers forward. I think they're going to get him the first down on that one. Good effort play from him.
Touchdown saving tackle right there by Colin Casey, because Edmondson did a good job of powering through there, sort of his own little Petter style. And if he gets through that last tackle, he's in the end zone.
It's a lot more of the first drive that we saw from Eastview. Again, it's been a very inconsistent, very stop and start offensive unit for Eastview throughout the season. We'll see drives like this, and we'll see drives like the last one. Up high to Rainey. Tries to find the edge, can't do it. Stays in bounds though, just outside the 10.
Yeah, quick screen right there to Rainey, but he threw it a little too high, and unfortunately, if you do that, that's gonna allow the defense to close in on him, because if he gets into his chest or even a little bit lower than what he threw it, he has a chance to actually get around the defenders.
Rainey's been the primary target. Duncan started off the season being, again, the big play guy, averaging almost 20 yards per catch.
Yeah,
a little bit quieter now.
Duncan leads the team in receiving yards per game. He averaged 125 a game, and he has over 600 for the season. But as you said, Rainey.
The hands of the receiver.
Yeah, that's number 14. That's Alessandro Perez, who was sort of playing sort of like a sub-tight end wing back right there. And he just ran a small little drag route, but that was way too high. And I don't even think, even if he catches that ball, he's not going anywhere, because we had 2 defenders on him. So it would be real surprising if he had done anything with that ball. That was really because Blair was feeling the pressure early again and saw the close thing to his face.
Do you think it's 2-down territory here? 3rd and call it 6 at the 11-yard line, or do you take the points?
No, you got to. If you think you have the team to score the points on it, you got to like go for the end zone every single time. Because, up in
the end zone. Yep, that's going to draw some flags.
His back he never turned around. That was number 19 for the Eagles. That was Colin Casey with the tell earlier. He had coverage on him, but he never turned around and shoved him at the last second, and that'll get called every single time. It's way too obvious. But to answer your question, no, I think this is 4-down territory across the board. And ECU's done a good job with this drive. They've taken up almost 6 minutes off the clock, and this quarter is going by a lot quicker. If ECU has this sort of offensive mindset from the start, this game is not only a lot closer, but there's maybe a score or two off the board.
You just look at the high-powered offenses in college or in the NFL. As Edmondson tries to bounce to the outside, he is pushed back a couple yards.
Yeah, it looks like that was number 99 for the Eagles. That was Michael Valenta, who put a nice little shot on him there at the end to bring him down. If he breaks that tackle, he's in the end zone. But you talked about the high-powered offenses like in today's day and age, where it's NFL, college, or even high school. They're adapting to a bigger 3 or 4 receiver set. They want to spread the field, spread the ball around, because they know the old days of really just lining up with 3 tight ends and the wing T and I formation. Those days are gone, except with the exception of a couple plays here and there. And ECU has done a good job of getting the ball down the field, but it's those times where you need those short yardage gains that Georgetown's able to obtain. That's where you would need that.
Blair going to keep it himself, and boy, met at the point of contact. I'll have to see who that was.
Yeah,
might have been.
That was number 29. That was Seth Warren, the sophomore linebacker, who got the first shot on him. Did a real good job of keying on him to begin with. He was playing spy. If you saw, he didn't go anywhere. He was standing still the entire time, letting Blair come to him.
Saw that against Cedar Park. And one other team that escapes my mind, but they set a spy on Blair because he's so dynamic in the run game. They used him a lot at the start of the season. In those 2 games, they really kept him in check, kept him contained here.
And that's what you have to do with this day and age, because there's so many athletic mobile quarterbacks. You have to have someone play spy, because if not, they can take off and get yardage with their legs.
Little speed option. Pitch to Edmondson doesn't do him any favors. I think he might have got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe picked up a half a yard.
They were gifted that pass interference call, and they are wasting this 5 yards to the end zone right now. They ran two running plays and one quarterback sneak. It's gone nowhere. I keep on saying this, even though they're that close, throw the ball. Because the running game has only been working for you in spurts, and now Georgetown is starting to respect the run a little bit. And they've shown they have the front seven to bring you down if they run. And if they're playing blitz like that, they're bringing 7 men in the box. At that point, run the quick slant because you don't have seen it all game long. The quick slant has been working for Eastview.
Because their receivers have really been winning their matchups and getting in front of the defender on those slants, getting their bodies in motion. They have the physical prowess in Rainey, in Ramirez to get in front of defenders and win those matchups to catch the ball. But again, we're midway through the second quarter here. Like you said, it's been a long first quarter anyway, and now a quicker second quarter.
ECU doing a good job of getting the ball down the field, but this is 4th down, and you know they're going to go for it. We all know they're going to go for it. You can't be down 35-0 and win your game and not get some points out there. I doubt they're going for the field goal. They're going to go for it all. Yeah, see, their offense is already coming out. I wouldn't be surprised, just because it's 4th down at the 4-yard line, I would look for an inside route to someone like maybe either Perez or possibly Rainey as an inside route.
Georgetown showing pressure. Blair takes the snap, rolls out to the right, has some green in front of him. He's got the touchdown. Touchdown Patriots, 35-6.
And they won't get shut out.
That's a good-looking drive, though, and commence the light show.
Oh, that's kind of cool. So Blair did a good job. At that time, he stared down his receivers. They had him in a left heavy trip set. He stared down his receivers. You can't do that because they're playing heavy zone that way. At that point, though, Blair, who normally feels the pressure, gets rid of the ball or does something stupid. At that point, he just reused his legs, saw nothing but green out to the right, and now ECU with some points on the board. I don't know if it's enough to spur a comeback, but it definitely is enough to say that we can hang with these guys.
And we got some little trickeration here. 2-point conversion try. The holder going to try and convert this one, brought down short. So stays 35-6 on the scoreboard.
Yeah, but you have to respect the creativity of it because instead of scoring 5 touchdowns and a couple extra points, you score 4 touchdowns and 4 2-point conversions. At that point, it becomes a field goal game. So I actually respect the creativity. Now you might feel a little differently about this. I would wonder if you remember at the beginning of the game, ECU started off with the onside kick. I would wonder if they don't try that again.
I think it depends on what look Georgetown comes up with, because I wonder if the Georgetown coaches are having the exact same thought that you're having.
Yeah, because the reality is they actually not only have they shown they can get the ball down the field, they get the ball to start the second half. If ECU gets the ball again with the same score, they get down there, score a touchdown again, 2-point conversion, and go into halftime down 35-14. They get the ball to start the second half, down 3 touchdowns. Still a big lead, but a much smaller than it was at the end of 1.
And also at that point, if it comes out, they score again after halftime. It's 35. It could be 35-22 at that point. Not only do you have a closer score, you have all the momentum on Eastview's side. So a little game of chess here that we're playing. 5:43 to go in this second quarter.
Yeah, if you look at Georgetown right now, they have 7 men playing near the line of the game, which is the 50-yard line. But Eastview, it looks like they're showing that they're going to kick it deep, but even still, Georgetown's keeping 7.
I don't know if I've seen this type of lineup from a kickoff unit before, but either way, they kick it deep in Maxwell's leg. Good enough to boot it all the way through.
For the touchback, yeah, and that's actually a good thing because you see Georgetown has their dangerous players back there returning. They have their guy Drayden Dickman. They have number 22 Andrew Petter, the 2 big key offensive weapons that have really been killing ECU all game long. And you don't want to give them the ball as much as you can. I'm a little surprised they didn't go for the onside kick. I probably would have tried it again, but that's just me. I understand there's still plenty of time left. There's 5 minutes and 43 seconds to go officially in the second quarter. But you just came off your best drive of the game, and you really do wonder if they can convert that 4th down back in the first quarter, what this game actually looks like.
Snap here goes to Petter, bounces to the outside. He's got some room, turns on the Jets. He's going to leave him in the dust, it looks like, inside the 20, 10, and touchdown. Boy, first play.
They've had a couple of those first play touchdowns, huh?
That they have, now 41-6.
And just like that, I don't know if you're keeping up, just like that, they've gone over 200 yards rushing Petter has on the game. But Pettit really just did a good job of just being patient. It wasn't that he was using his power. He did a good job of coming between the tackles because that was a basic draw. That was a basic draw play right there. And all he did was bounce to the outside and play the numbers.
So we talked about Eastview having a really good drive in that last offensive series, and they really kept this Georgetown offense off the field for over half the quarter. Really doesn't really make a difference though when you can score in one play like that, 42-7. We'll take a break here. 5:27 to go. 42-6 here in Georgetown. Back after the break.
Hey, high schoolers, are you interested in a career in sports media? Vype can help. Launched in 2017, our Vype U Ambassador Program is a one-of-a-kind educational scholarship program that offers high school students a chance to gain hands-on experience in the sports media field. Vype U also gives students a platform to build their portfolio of creative work under the guidance of Vype's seasoned professionals. From covering games to publishing photos, writing articles, and conducting on-camera interviews, each Vype U ambassador receives an immersive experience geared toward their interests, while promoting their own school and preparing them for their future. Email info@vypemedia.com to find out more about Vype U today.
Back after the touchdown. That's the second one-touchdown drive by the Eagles, now leading 42-6. Eastview trying to put together a drive like that, but 5:27 to go before half.
Actually, I think that the long drives, which keeps the Georgetown offense off the field, is the right call. But Georgetown just has the ability to go down the field in a single play, which makes it all the more hard to come back. He's going to take it. Oh, he's wrapped down right there about the 20-yard line. That was a good tackle right there. That was number 29 officially, Seth Warren, while my partner Tyler here deals with his audio issues. And right there, if the ball is going to be set up at the 21-yard line, you have just over 5 minutes to go in the first half. If you're Eastview, you've done a good job of getting a 7+ minute drive off the board, and you have the ball to start the second half. The best thing you could do with this drive is to burn as much clock as possible and get some points out of here, because you don't want to get the ball back to Georgetown, who already has over 40 on the board. Eastview's going to